Good evening, friends. We start tonight with Hive, H-I-V-E, a CIA hacking tool capable of masking itself and impersonating public companies. The code was specifically designed to impersonate the software of Russian antivirus company Kaspersky. Wikileaks first began publishing the source code for Hive back in April of this year. The current leak confirms the CIA is capable of making it appear the source of a hack was an outside source, namely the Russians. The United States government has gone on the offensive against Kaspersky, accusing it of being involved in Russian efforts to hack American servers. For more on this tonight, we turn to former CIA officer Jack Rice. Jack, this reads like a spy novel, if nothing else. What is this? What's its capability? Tell us about it.
Well, it's a fascinating issue, Ed. And again, this alleged op that's out there right now, when we look at it, the idea would be to do something essentially called a false flag operation of sorts. You could do something, and when you're done with it, it would look like somebody else did it. In this case, it could be, ideally, again, according to this WikiLeaks leak, that it could be a Russian question. It could be made to look like the Brits. It could be made to look like anybody. And I think that's what they're releasing right now. That's what they're talking about.
Is it hard to detect? I mean, obviously, somebody leaked something to WikiLeaks, and that's how it got out. But in the spy world, in the tech world, is this undetectable?
No, you can figure out what's going on. The problem is how sophisticated something like this could be. I mean, the real difficulty here is not really the shock to me, the idea that any intelligence organization allegedly could be doing something like this. I think the interesting twist about this story, though, is that the argument seems to be that somehow the CIA actually ran an operation, ran it back inside the United States, and then tried to tag it as a Russian operation. And frankly, I really don't buy it because, first of all, it's a federal crime. Number two, I think a lot of CIA officers who were involved with that would know it's a federal crime. In fact, I know they would. And their fear is that if they hang themselves out there, trust me, when everything blows apart, when everything goes south, they're going to be the ones who are going to be hung up by it. So I really doubt you'd see a CIA op running against itself. I could see potentially any intelligence organization going worldwide, but I don't see the agency going inside. I just don't see that happening.
But you could see the scenario where those who were supporting the President of the United States would come up with the narrative that the conclusion could be made that this was set up to destroy a candidate, that we're going to make it look like them and then we're going to blame them. What about that?
Yeah, I could see how you could make that argument that this is a possibility. So you could say, well, is it possible? The answer is it is possible, but I guess I could make the equivalent argument that says if you were born before 1963, you could be the guy behind the grassy knoll. Just because you can say something could have happened doesn't mean it necessarily did.
Okay. Would this enter into an area where the Mueller investigation may get its ears up and jump into this to see what the validity of this is?
Well, it's possible, although the Mueller investigation in this case is obviously, once you start to dig in, if you see evidence of a crime, you can chase that crime down. And I think that's how this sort of opens up and gets bigger and bigger. Hence, you can go back to the Bill Clinton investigation where all of a sudden we started with a real estate issue and you ended up on a blue dress. Yeah. And that's how you could follow this issue out. But I'm not quite sure if you're going to find a nexus, a link that would drive you that far. That may require something quite a bit different to follow that issue up. And frankly, it should be just to determine what it is and whether there's any legitimacy to it at all.
Jack Rice, always great to have you with us. Thanks so much for the insight tonight. Appreciate it.